Pro Watercross. High speeds, high flying action. Who will be the next world champion? We find out next on CBS Sports Network. Welcome to beautiful Naples, Florida, the Paradise Coast. It's a gorgeous day here out on the water at Sugden Regional Park. This is the Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championship. Now I'm about to introduce you guys to the three classes we're covering today. First up, we have the Pro Ski GP. These are the stand-up watercraft that reach speeds up to 75 miles an hour. Next up, the Pro Runabout box stock. These are the ones strictly out of the box that you could go to your local dealer and bring right out here and race. And lastly, one of the most popular, the Pro Sport GP that reaches speeds up to 75 miles an hour. Now we're about to show you just what these elite athletes have to go through on this course from a first-person perspective. Kurt and Rick, up to you guys.
All right, we're on board with Callaway Turner for the jet trim lap of the day. Charging to the first turn. Turner a little behind here going into the first turn, Kurt.
Yeah, he's having to deal with the pump wash of the two riders in front of him, but he's in a great position, tight to the buoy. They're going to make a hard U-turn. Watch him as he tries to gain position here. Callaway Turner trying to chase this rider down.
We see him looking over to his right to see who's next to him. Nobody there. He's got some clean water now. One rider in front of him, and he is charging on to the front straightaway. A couple more turns, and he's in the inside split onto the first turn.
You see him look behind, make sure nobody's there. Again, he's going wide up and down that Broward Motorsports front straightaway. He's making the left. Here comes the log jump. Callaway Turner up and over. Well done as he makes his way through the chicane system over on the far right-hand side of the track. Rick, where's he going?
Turner looking again, see if anybody's next to him. Nobody there. Makes a nice left-hand turn. Now he's got to stay real clean as they head towards the back part of the straightaway. What he wants to do is enter the back straightaway with as much speed as he can so that he can really gain on anybody in front of him and not give up a position or get passed on that straightaway.
No question about it. As he goes off the end of the straightaway, he's taking the inside split, going to try and make a move here. Two more buoys before he comes out to the main straightaway. Here he goes. Watch it, the next orange buoy. He's going left and across the finish line. And that's your jet trim lap of the day.
Now today is not only about pro watercross. We have some high-flying freestyle action and some motorized surfboards. Yeah, you heard me right. You don't want to miss this. Stick around for the Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championship.
The Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championship on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Naples, Marco Island, Everglades Convention and Visitors Bureau, Florida's Paradise Coast. By Broward Motorsports, you gotta ride. And by Shark Energy, feed the beast.
So we offer a complete engine kit. Comes with everything you would need to rebuild your outboard engine. We offer a complete kit, different sizes. We offer all different sizes pistons. The kit comes complete with gaskets, piston, everything you need, bearings to do your whole engine.
Pro Watercross. High speeds, high flying action. Who will be the next world champion? We find out next on CBS Sports Network. Welcome to beautiful Naples, Florida, the Paradise Coast. It's a gorgeous day here out on the water at Sugden Regional Park. This is the Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championship. Now, I'm about to introduce you guys to the three classes we're covering today. First up, we have the Pro Ski GP. These are the stand-up watercraft that reaches speeds up to 75 miles an hour. Next up, the Pro Runabout box stock. These are the ones strictly out of the box that you could go to your local dealer.
Sport, sport, sport boats to practice. Come on down. All right, sport class. I see Bobby Hollywood Cordone down there. He wants to be first in the water. Little late, though. Over on the far right-hand side.
Well,
got
our
that 584 blaster.
Sorry, Kurt. Our junior ski riders got a little taste of the conditions here in Pensacola, and they're not having the easiest time with it. This is some serious water right now that we're dealing with up here in the tower. It doesn't look too bad. You get down there in the water and are trying to maneuver and manage everything, and you're about 5'1" and $120.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You're being gracious at $120. It's more like 20.
I probably am.
I'll tell you.
It's been so long since I was $120. I don't even know what that can't even relate to that.
Yeah, well, it's a good learning experience. I'll tell you what, I love the surf. You and I have talked about this. Surf races, it's not all just having the fastest boat. It's all about, truly, it's about reading the water, reading the waves, knowing when to roll over the top and when to just nail it and go sky shot it,
Yeah, it's a different skill set, and definitely experience is a huge factor in surf racing. But having said that, this is definitely the best kind of racing. Let's face it. We love this. But one thing with the national tour that I think is pretty cool is that you get to see the competitors in a variety of conditions. We're going to start here in the surf. Daytona next week will probably be, who knows, could be similar, could be flat. Daytona is hard to predict. I haven't looked at the surf report yet. But and then you get to places like, Georgia, where it's just flat as a pancake usually. Yeah. So it balances things out, evens things out at the end of the day. And so it's a lot of fun. But let's face it, seeing these riders get challenged by these conditions, a little airtime here and there, really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, as those out there watching online can see, the surf conditions, and of course everybody here can see it, the surf's building and building, usually late afternoon here. We get a little wind coming in, and personally, I love it.
Yeah, nothing like it. I'm hoping that the storm that I dealt with in Houston yesterday in Texas delays its arrival here until this evening, and I'm hoping that's the case. We'll see. It looks like it may be closing in just a little bit, but we'll be okay. We've all dealt with that before. Anybody remember Naples last year?
Yeah, well, I know what you were thinking. You're looking out there at the surf, you look up and thinking, hey, shrimp basket and $2.99 margaritas.
Stop
I know
here.
where we're going tonight, huh?
I wish they could deliver.
Actually, come to think of it, I think we're going to be heading out to, what is the name of the place? Oh, the Casino Bar and Grill. That's right.
What's that?
Yeah, it's not on that sheet there, but Casino Bar and Grill.
Is that where we're going tonight?
That's where we're going.
Because I'm ready for a margarita right now.
Well, they're right down here on the beach, so you can get it.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's a they're laid back spot alongside the beach and the pier. Hell, they got beach recliners, sandwiches, drinks. They're going to have live bands.
This is a great place to hang out. Just kick back. What a beach.
I'll tell you what, we got in a couple of days ago. Thank you very much, Haley. All right, our savior, Haley Compton, thank you. We're going to see her out on the course today, aren't we? Yes, ma'am.
All right, looking forward to that.
All right, sport boats out there. They're getting acclimated.
Got our riders going out. One of the greatest sport riders of all time down there in the water helping guys, Tim Judge.
Oh, yeah.
One of the guys that set the standard for riding sport boats years ago on the Wave Blasters.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, one of his original riders out there, Billy Dearman, just taken off.
This is a class that never fails to entertain.
No doubt about it.
To say the least, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Got our sport riders out for practice right now. We're going to have the runabouts down on the line.
Yeah, and speaking of runabouts, we need our, super course runabouts. We're going to put you out there first. get you out on the water. We know you're going to want to refuel before the SUP-CROSS race. And we'll let you do back-to-backs so you can do the SUP-CROSS practice, then you can turn around and do the closed course practice.
And be completely confused.
Well, be completely knowledgeable.
Yes.
We're the ones with the confusion.
Where is, I'm looking for Robert Sand.
Behind you.
Check, Robert.
Yeah, he's
where is
right
he?
over there.
Is he back here?
All right, sport class boats. Course Marshal Randy showing them the way around.
We should have the SUP-CROSS go out next because they race first. So is that cool? Okay.
Copy that. We'll let Course Marshal Randy know to take him around the SUP-CROSS because, well, it's super.
Do not take him around the regular course. Take him around the SUP-CROSS.
Exactly.
Is that like SUP-CROSS?
SUP-CROSS runabout, 3 guys, then runabout.
SUP-CROSS is going to go next, and then regular. Can we confuse you a little more? Can we confuse you anymore? We're trying. We're doing a good job, I can tell. Yeah, windy conditions here makes it a little hard for everybody to hear. We recognize that, so we'll try to be very clear and concise when it's something important.
Say that again?
Which is not most of the time that we're talking. Can you guys hear down there in the Broward tents? Jan, can you guys hear us down there? Can you? Okay, good. Good. Nice to see you, by the way.
All right, seeing some of our sport class riders judging the waves, and it's pretty easy to tell when they misjudge them.
Always.
Speaking of Tim Judge, yeah.
Always.
You watch out there, and boy, I'll tell you what, you can certainly tell the difference between riders that have practiced in the surf and know it, and those that are just learning it.
Yeah, no question about it. It's hard. It's challenging. These conditions are challenging, and you know, with this sport, unlike a dirt bike race that we are very familiar with or other forms of racing, the course here is changing constantly. Always a challenge.
Yeah, I like that. That's the thing that makes this better than motocross. And don't get me wrong, I love SUP-CROSS. I was a motocross racer just like you growing up. Loved it. But, man, that course changes a little bit lap to lap.
Hard.
But
Very
this changes
difficult.
every 3 feet.
Very difficult, especially these conditions. Flat water racing doesn't change quite so much. It does get rougher throughout the race, and that changes it. But here, this is a whole different animal. And yet you still have to charge. I mean, you can't let off. You can't back it off. You really kind of minimize the mistakes more than anything.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. There is definitely a time to back off the throttle in the surf, but it's not very often.
No, it's hard because no one else is.
Sorry. See Sam Nemi out there, Billy Dearman, Bobby Cordone, got that fresh motor in the 222.
Boy, smell that race gas, huh?
Oh yeah, VP.
You know
VP
it's race
special.
season. You know racing season is underway when you start smelling that smell.
Well, you know, Rick Lake, I'm sure that you used to run this, and we did, and living on the East Coast during the winter when there was just too much snow to ride, when I mean you really couldn't even go through it. Not that we didn't ride in the snow. We'd sit there. We got a few buddies around, have a couple of adult beverages, an old frying pan, and some castor oil on the stove.
Oh, God.
I'm not kidding.
Did you
Bean
really?
Oil. Yeah, bean oil.
That's amazing.
We sit around and make noises.
Well, we didn't have to do that in the desert.
Yeah.
So but that is pretty darn cool. I think they have candles now.
Did they really?
That emit like the
Castor oil.
Blenzol. Like
Blenzol.
Blenzol.
Oh, there's a name for the past.
Now, I was a big fan of Klotz. You could always tell when you were behind somebody what they were running.
Yep.
Blenzol or Klotz. Klotz smelled kind of sweet.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Blenzol had an acrid or acidic kind of
Yeah, it
smell.
kind of just sizzled your eyes and nostrils, I think, in a good way.
I'm going to throw this out there. There is a go-kart, outdoor go-kart course near Sacramento where I'm from. And down in Richmond, which is about 40 miles away, is a petroleum processing plant. Well, a lot of the guys, the engineers from the petroleum processing plant started racing go-karts out here. They had to go to spec fuel because the guys that were following them, their face shields were literally melting from the exotic chemicals they were putting in, and literally changed it all to a spec course because, come on,
That's
you don't want to be
crazy.
breathing carcinogens that are melting plastic.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mention that because, now with all of the modern engines that we're running in most cars these days that burn incredibly clean with catalytic converters and all the smog and stuff, when you're behind somebody that's got an older car, muscle car or whatever, man, you can really smell it.
Oh, you can tell it, and especially the older cars with the older carburetors instead of fuel injection,
Yeah.
they're running rich. You can smell that unburnt
and you get behind,
fuel.
you're like, oh my God, can you imagine that's how every car was back in the day?
Yeah,
That's why Los Angeles in the 60s, you couldn't even see or breathe.
So I'm going to tell you a true story. Going a little bit further forward into the late 70s, early 80s. No, actually, yeah, late 70s, early 80s. I went down road racing. I was a road racer then, to Ontario Motor Speedway, which is now housing.
Yes.
And I went
sadly.
down there 3 times before I knew there were 10,000-foot mountains right behind it. I couldn't see them because of the smog.
Yeah.
True
no,
story.
I know that. And
I looked up. I was like, it was like, the heavens opened up and I heard angels singing. Look at those mountains.
Absolutely. And the funny, to add on to that, you're absolutely right. And things are so much better now.
Oh, yeah.
But and now even like in the wintertime, we just went through and we have some big storms come through. I live in Southern California, obviously. And when it clears out there and after a big storm will come through, on the back of it will be some heavy winds usually, and it clears out the entire basin. And you can see from Orange County, if you're up on a higher elevation, Orange County, you can see downtown L.A. You can see the San Gabriel Mountains in the background.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's a beautiful place when you can see it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, to your point, boy, that was ugly back then.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times a year you can actually see everything.
Yeah, it's nice.
And listen, I'm not making any noise about L.A. because in Sacramento, same way. We can see, almost up to Tahoe, and the whole ridge. There'll be snow all over those mountains.
Well, so L.A.
Sometimes up to June.
L.A. still has the worst air around. I mean, L.A. and San Diego both have bad air.
Ever
It's
been to
better than it
China?
used to be. What?
Ever been to China?
No.
I hear it's worse.
Yeah. That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, you take a tennis racket to knock the chunks out.
Yeah,
so you
no
don't swallow
thanks.
them. Yeah.
No thanks.
But I hear they're getting better too. You know what? That brings up something I wanted to talk about eventually. Anyway, we're going to have our runabout riders come down for practice plays. We need our super course runabout riders.
I don't know. Richard Ignacio's got the biggest grin in the world right now. I'm
New toys.
I know it must be working. Are we on air? Are we live? Worldwide? Whoa. Better be careful what you're talking
World
about.
Wide Web.
You better be careful talking about China.
All right, so let's do this. Potato. It's all about the pronunciation. All right, so we're going to need Jorge Movahan out of Key Largo, Dean Harrison out of West Palm Beach, Dennis Mack out of Loganville, and Graham Hunt. You guys should be down on the line with your SUP-CROSS machines. Your practice is coming up. I see 2 of the boats in the water now. 3. We got all 4.
That's right. Once again, we are going to go to our SUP-CROSS practice right now. So you riders that are racing the SUP-CROSS today, you should be on the starting line, ready to go out for practice. Robert, make sure that does Randy know these are going to be SUP-CROSS?
All right, 777, Juan Lescano out there is not running the SUP-CROSS. We probably want to get him off of there.
SUP-CROSS riders only. This is SUP-CROSS practice. Robert, does Randy know this is SUP-CROSS? Once again, this is SUP-CROSS practice. Only the SUP-CROSS riders should be out on the water at this time. Is that 777 is not in this practice? Is that Lescano? Okay, apparently everybody's on the same page, which is always a good thing. And we are going to begin our SUP-CROSS practice here in just a moment. Okay. Okay, new style of racing this year, SUP-CROSS, which is basically an endurance style of racing on an expanded, more wide open closed course. It's definitely suited for the big runabouts with the high speed.
Yeah, it's great for the newer riders too, because the course isn't quite as challenging.
Yeah.
Not as many riders on the course. learn which way to go.
Less mistakes to make, in other words.
Exactly.
Perfect for you and I.
Well, and less consequences when you make those mistakes.
Although I will tell you, I have seen a couple of these types of races, and the supercourse or endurance racing can get pretty critical at times, because the high speeds these guys are going to be racing at.
In the surf. I love the surf.
But with 4 riders, you know, it won't be quite as gnarly as it could be. That's right, I said gnarly. Where I live, if you say that in conversation, nobody even looks at you. It's just common verbiage. But you travel around, and people are like, "What did you say?"
That's right. It's up in New England. It's pisser, you know, or that's wicked pisser. You know, you don't hear that in the West Coast.
No, I don't hear that at all. And then the Aussies have their own brand of language as well, which I find awesome. Love the Aussies.
They're almost unintelligible, mate.
I love them. Yep. Up next, regular runabout practice, regular closed course.
All right, we need our runabouts down to the line. All runabouts, head on down. Your practice is up right now.
All right, we got runabout up next, regular runabout, closed course practice, followed by skis. The runabouts will be up next, and the skis will follow the runabouts. All right, bringing in the the super course practice. Finish up with that. That's a pretty easy course to learn, frankly. And then we're going to get our regular runabout closed course practice out in the water. The big machines, and then following that, we'll have a ski class. And the ski class we might break up into a couple. Course Marshal Randy will determine that in terms of the number of riders on the line for practice. That'll work. Yeah. All right, we are getting ready to get on with our practice. This is going to be the runabouts on the water right now. Following the runabouts will be the ski class, so all the ski riders should be getting prepped and ready to head down to the starting line for practice. And we'll get you guys underway. Kurt, what do you think?
Well, what I think is as soon as we call them, we're getting immediate response. These riders are ready to go. And we do apologize, but obviously those of you down on the beach saw the little issue we had with the scoring tower. We've got to make that safe and get it out there on the beach. Also have an issue with our second course marshal boat, little pump problem, and they're taking care of that now. So pretty soon we're going to be there. We apologize for the slow start, but we're going to finish strong.
All right, all the runabouts look like they are staging for practice, ready to head out. This is going to be intense practice. Got the big high horsepower boats out there, and boy, with the new season starting out, everybody's chomping at the bit at the moment. Okay. Well, we got the scoring girls up here getting us dialed in. It's awesome. Doreen and Stephanie. Okay, looks like Course Marshal Randy's ready to rock and roll with the runabouts as they head out for practice. Now that they are underway, we need our ski riders to make their way down to the starting line. Following the ski practice, we will do IROC. So, runabouts out on the course for practice. Following the runabouts will be ski. Following the ski will be IROC.
Well, well, well.
Well, Kurt.
Deep subject, shallow minds.
Yeah, you got that right. Well said. We're kind of keeping an eye on the skies out there because we do know that the weather is on the way, looks like, right?
You know, I'm into that positivity and that, what did you call it? Denial. That's what you called it, denial.
Oh, I thought you were going to get zenned out on me, which I'm kind of into that.
I'm kind of telling you, let's just not discuss it
Namaste.
and see what happens.
Namaste.
Less filling. Tastes great. We'll just look up and
it's a beautiful.
Yeah. We see lightning, we're jumping off of this thing.
And Mav will just stay up here and close up shop. You guys, I got it. Don't touch anything. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my junk.
Well, you know, he was he was inspired by Aquaman, and everything he's got now is waterproof.
Yeah, I mean, after last year, I can't blame him. I mean, we had some what would you say, instances, some issues.
Well, that monsoon in Naples.
Naples took the cake.
Ballistic, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And you and I basically bolted, and Mav just said, "Oh, I got it. I'm good. Get out of here." And you and I were like, "Okay." We were like the cartoon.
Mav says, "I got a sandwich bag, some duct tape, and my blazer. I'll be okay."
And you and I were like the cartoon where the whoop.
Feet don't fail me now.
Oh, we were off and running, man. That was sketchy.
Yeah, I got too many grandchildren that want to see me for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I wasn't too stoked with Mav being up here on the tower doing that, but he's his own man, so what are you going to do, you know?
You're going to watch him and wonder.
I tell you what, he upgraded, though, and it ramped it up. It's impressive.
It really is impressive. For those that are watching on the World Wide Web, I am telling you, he is the national champion for the for streaming.
Live
the organization that covers that for the U.S. chose him as the premier streamer on the web for 2019. So if you've got an event you want to be you want to have on the World Wide Web, contact Richard Ignacio at livestreaming247.com.
Well, and it's interesting because the live stream has become a critical component of events now. People are not waiting for magazines to come out 2.5 months later or Cycle News to come out a few days after an event. I mean, I worked at Cycle News, and you know, we saw the demise of that. I mean, even a few days later, results were not happening anymore. We don't read the newspapers. We don't. We have instant results on basically everything now.
Quick question. Do you have some sort of pocket-sized electronic device that continually rules your world?
Our whole life is
everyone?
on it.
Exactly. So why would you want to wait a week or two or a month? No offense to the great people that have put together magazines in the past, like yourself. I have done that as well. But, you know, I'll tell you what. When we started the PWC Zone e-zine magazine back in the early 90s, we were getting 1 million hits a month when some of the big sites were getting, 100,000. It just goes to show the people all around the world wanted information on this hot new sport, personal watercraft racing, and it just took off like crazy. And you can't wait. You need the information. You need to know what product you're going to buy because, No,
everything is live now. It's live, real time, and that's what it takes. In fact, on my way out here yesterday, I had plenty of time to read, to say the least.
Yes, you did.
And I read some articles, and some people were talking about trying to get. It was regarding bicycle racing in Europe, and they were talking about live streaming and how that was necessary for their sport to grow. And I'm not talking about Tour de France, things like that. I'm talking about some other events, and it was just interesting. I was thinking about Richard and what he's done with this, and how Pro Watercross has really led the way with the live streaming component, and because of Richard's abilities,
no question,
and passion for the sport, it's grown exponentially year by year, and now we're at a point where, we've seen him invest in upgrading his equipment to battle the elements, basically, because one of the tough parts of personal watercraft racing is we are out in the elements, and as a promoter and competitors and everybody involved with it, you got to deal with weather,
Yeah, every once in a while you kind of look forward to the challenge that bad weather gives you. Now, every once in a while, and then once it's over and you're in your truck, warming up on the way home, you got, man, I did pretty good.
Yeah,
I got challenged and I rose to the occasion.
Over the years, we certainly have gotten hammered with weather. Yeah, many different places, many different times. Some scary weather, severe weather. Naples last year for a brief moment was pretty scary. Dallas years ago, as you just mentioned, was beyond frightening. Lives. We were concerned about losing life at that event. Bonacci got nailed, broke his wrist, got thrown about 20 feet through the air trying to hang on to the West Coast awning and hold it down. And a lot of it was carnage. But so we do deal with the weather in these events, and everybody is pretty used to it, or they get used to it, get acclimated quickly. But I think with Richard, what he's done this year with the waterproofing and heading in that direction is just a huge step forward, and certainly lets him rest a little bit easier, knowing that he is prepared for wet weather.
Well, and that's the reason he was voted the #1 streamer of 2019. He's always thinking forward, and we live in the same town. We talk every few weeks or so, just how you doing, what's going on, and he brought a bunch of surprises out. He didn't tell me he had triple the power of the internet connection.
Yeah.
We're not dropping anything. These hotels, you can see their antennas starting to melt from the power that Richard's putting out there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to be part of this, actually, for me, just to see, and I try to learn what he's doing and grasp a little bit. But really, he's just a big nerd, and that's what it comes down to, because I stay with him for a little bit on the explanations, and then he'll lose me, and I'll have to, slow down, back up a little bit, but it's so cool, and it's where we're at today. Pro Watercross is very current in its production and promotion with the live streaming, and we'll talk about that more as the day goes on and the weeks go on and the tour goes on.
What what a segue into this, because our live streaming partners are M&M Marine and UTV. It's M&M Power Sports out in Wilton, California. Good friend of mine, Mitchell Miller, and his wife, Michelle. They've just gone ballistic, not just in personal watercraft parts that they've had since the 80s, but the UTV stuff. Hey, everybody's using quads and ATVs, UTVs to bring stuff in. They've got parts for you super cheap. They're like incredibly affordable. And then Primo Wind. Unfortunately, Primo Wind wasn't, there was a shipping thing. We were going to be powered by the sun and the wind here through the Primo Wind.
I can't wait for that. I think that is the coolest.
I am so jazzed. And
yeah.
we can talk a lot more about that over the weekend and through the tour. But I cannot wait to have that set up in Daytona Beach. They're bypassing it. It's stuck in Dallas right now. They can't get anything out of there. They're going to have it in Daytona, and I can't wait to see.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Kurt. It's really exciting to be part of that, and be completely green up here in the tower is pretty cool. And M&M Marine, Mitchell Miller. For me personally, I don't know him personally well, but I've dealt with him, and we've talked over the years. There's a client of mine when I handled the advertising for Jet Sports.
Oh,
and Personal Watercraft Illustrated through the years, always an advertiser. And so to see him, when I saw we had him on board for the tour this year, kind of cool to bring back somebody that we've dealt with for so long, has been a big part of the sport.
Yeah, somebody, like the guys are out there that have been working and doing this for decades, literally, and that looks scary.
That's a better place than it was.
Yeah. Got a little lean to it.
So, so this is a big deal. The live streaming has grown. It's taken off. Now we have live streaming partners. Pretty darn cool, and it's exciting to be part of that. Then we add in the Primo Wind to where this whole operation is driven by the elements. All green, wind, and they need to add rain to that so we can get power from
Well, maybe.
You never know.
It'll wash off the solar panel so it gets it spread off.
There you go. There you go.
And the wind power,
And we got a whole list of sponsors this year for the tour that's pretty exciting.
We got some great people out there. I'll tell you what. First off, we already talked about it. Casino Beach Bar and Grill. They're right down the beach here. We're going to be hanging out there later. I can't wait to see what their drink specials are.
The Casino Beach Bar and Grill?
Right there.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
We're headed there.
We're headed there. And where are we now? Pensacola Beach. You want to thank everybody that from the Santa Rosa Island Authority, Paulo, everybody that helps us year after year here. Douglas Underhill, you cannot say enough about them.
This is a cool place, no doubt about it. An outstanding site for the racing. We're watching the tower have some issues.
Well, and Douglas Underhill, who's an official here. I don't mean official for us, but for the city of Pensacola. He's a county commissioner, I do believe. And, God, I love watching that guy's post on Facebook. He is so pro-USA.
Yeah, great spot here, Pensacola, for the first round of the 2019 Pro Watercross National Tour, and couldn't be a better spot than here in Pensacola Beach, no question about it.
Presented by Broward Motorsports, as usual. Sam Nemi and his growing group of dealerships. They added another one and moved a second one to a larger location. I'll tell you what, Broward Motorsports, #1 power sports company in Florida, no question.
Yeah, and you can see the presence they have here in Pensacola today is ramped up. They have a huge presence here on the beach. They have a phenomenal team, and these guys put it. They not only talk the talk, but they walk the walk.
No doubt about it. I'll tell you what. Really excited as I heard a boat out there. I looked up. It's Tyron Matsuris out of South Africa riding that Commander Industries machine. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's a powerful platform that they've developed, and Tyron out here on the national tour are going to put that to good use this year.
Yeah, well, he and his brother competed in Huntington Beach in the surf, and he won one moto, was second in the second. His brother won the overall because he was first, but those two were dominant. Can't wait to see what happens out here today.
Yeah, it's going to be some good racing and pro ski, no doubt about it, as always. Greg Warner out here on his ever-present Kawasaki 1500 SXR. So
Craig
these guys are going to go at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Craig and I were talking this morning. I follow him and Jessica. Their son Austin is racing go-karts, and Craig is having so much fun building karts, teaching him about racing, and as he told me this morning, learning from his son as well. He says, you know what? This year, no holds barred. This is it. He says, we were working on the SXR, trying to get it better and getting it better. Now it's all me.